Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about the short story The Life You Save May Be Your Own by Flannery O'Connor. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Alright, so The Life You Save May Be Your Own by Flannery O'Connor. Very interesting short story here. Basically, you get this man by the name of Mr. Shiftlet. He has his right arm, so he's disabled. His left arm is missing, and we meet him within the short story. The beginning of the short story, he appears, and he goes to this farm where he meets a family, mother and daughter. The mother is very old. The mother's name is Lucinelle Crater, and the daughter's name is Lucinelle Crater. So they have the same name. So the daughter is young, she's deaf, she has some mental disabilities. The mother is old. It's almost like she's a woman that doesn't have that much long to live. She doesn't have an illness or anything, but she's very old, and there's a feeling that she might be going soon. She might be dying soon, and she really is very desperate to get her daughter married. Because the younger Lucinelle, she is closer to 30, and there's nobody else. There's no husband. There's nobody else. And she has mental disabilities, and she's deaf. So she's going to need someone to help her throughout her life. That's how the story is pretty much set up. And Mr. Shiflett, he appears on the scene, and he has a lot of philosophical things that he's talking about. The mother is already working her mind. Her mind is teeming. She wants to get Mr. Shiflett married to her daughter because she's like, there's not that many suitors. There's no suitors after the daughter. She just really wants to get the daughter married and know that when she dies, like the daughter is gonna have someone to take care of her. And pretty much throughout the short story, the mother, she gradually pretty much offers Mr. Shiflett everything she has at the farm, the broken down car, everything, the property, the house, everything. And Lucinelle Senior, she's very desperate, basically. And Mr. Shiflett, he's dealing with a lot of things. He's dealing with his disability. He doesn't have a left arm. Everybody can see that he doesn't have a left arm. People think that he can't do a lot of things. And throughout the work, he shows us how capable he is with one hand, how he can fix a car with one hand, take care of the farm with one hand. He comes on the farm, and after a couple of days, after a week, man, you can notice everything he's fixing, everything he's patching up. He's a man, He does everything that he needs to do without skipping a beat. And basically, the story goes on. And yeah, the story goes on, and the mother's like, "Hey, I really want you and my daughter to get married. I really want you two to get hitched. They get married, even though Mr. Shiflett doesn't really want to get married, but he wants the car, and he gets $17.50 from Lucinelle Senior. So I'm gonna call the mother Lucinelle Senior because they have the same name. Lucinelle Senior is the mother. Lucinelle Junior is the daughter. Just for the sake of this video. And basically, they get married and they go away for the honeymoon. And keep in mind that Mr. Shiflett did fix the car. The car had been sitting in the Lucinelle garage for a long time, a very long time, and basically, he fixes it with his one hand, and he goes on his honeymoon with Lucinelle Junior. And he ditches her in a restaurant, and he goes on towards Mobile, Alabama. He abandons Lucinelle Jr. He abandons the young lady who is deaf and who has mental disabilities, um, by herself, and he just continues on with his life. And The title is, the life you save may be your own. Um, there's so much that is going on within this work here. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis, there's so many things that are going on. Mr. Shiftlet, he's pretty much looking for himself. He's looking out for himself. And I guess you can some ways say he's very shifty. He's a guy that's gonna use every advantage that he can to make the world work for him. As soon as he got on the farm, he was like, "What can I use? What can I get out of here? What can I use these people for? What can I get from them to make my life better?" So from the get go, you can see that he was after the car. He just wanted to fix the car. He wanted to have a car, but he had no money. And also, something that's very deep about this work is Lucinelle Jr., she has mental disabilities and she's deaf. It feels very weird and awkward that the mother wanted her to marry, um, Mr. Shiftlet. When I think about this young lady with her mental disabilities and her being deaf and her not having to talk, I mean, it's Mr. Shiftlet who finally teaches her how to say bird within this work, which has some significance to it because, Mr. Shiftlet, he flew away like a bird. So that's what he always was. He was a bird within this work. He was always going to fly away. They were never going to trap him. So that's a piece of analysis that's very significant right there. Everybody is trying to save their own life. The Lucinelle Senior, she was trying to save her life by, getting her daughter hitched so that, she can procreate, have kids, continue the family line. So in one way, she was, kind of like saving her family line and keep pushing on the line forward. Mr. Shiftlet was trying to save himself because he was trying to get the car, go on to Mobile, and keep living, keep being free. Lucinelle Jr., the daughter, um, she's just she wasn't trying to play the situation. She existed, and in many ways, the story kind of paints her as this innocent girl that doesn't see the darkness within the world. She's not that beautiful. She's deaf. She's not gonna argue. She doesn't know anything that's going on. She has mental disabilities. Um, she's just this innocent thing that just exists within the world. And throughout the work, Mr. Shiftlet and Lucinelle Crater Jr., the full name is Lucinelle Crater, just saying. Throughout the short story, Lucinelle Sr. and Mr. Shiftlet, they have a lot of philosophical talk about the body and the spirit and what it means to have a body and spirit. Just because a man loses a physical bodily arm doesn't mean that his spirit, he loses an arm in the spirit. So that's very significant. I mean, when you think about Christianity, when you think about the soul, the body, the spirit, especially if you go into Christianity, we know that there's the body, there's the soul, there's the spirit. And humans, we focus on the body, taking care of the body, feeding the body, and a lot of times we neglect the soul and the spirit. But God created us in these three parts. If you're Christian, that's what you believe. But if you're of the world, you think that's just your body and mind. And Mrs. Lucinelle Jr., I think, Lucinelle Sr., the mother, she's all about the body, right? She wants a husband for her daughter. She wants procreation. She wants somebody to take care of the farm. She's all worried about what she sees in front of her, while Mr. Shiftlet, he's kind of thinking more about the spirit and more about reality and morality. But he's not a good person. I mean, the way that he abandons Lucinelle Jr. is very, very sad. The way he abandons the daughter in the restaurant is very sad. Because you would thought that he'd be a man of morals and ethics, but he just uses the family to get what he wants, which is just the car, so that he could drive on to Mobile, Alabama, and to continue his life. So throughout the work, even though he has one arm, you would think he would be a good moral person of high values, but he's really not. He has a lot of things that he's dealing with. At the end of the work, he picks up this hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker pretty much tells him, tells him off when Mr. Shiftlet tried to say something philosophical to the young boy about his mother and how, your mother's not so bad, he regrets leaving his own mother, and the young man says, your mother, he pretty much just tells him off, talks him off. And Mr. Shiftlet is wondering, when is God gonna wipe the filth from the earth? And he has all these philosophical ideas, but he himself, he's not a good moral, um, you know, character, because the way that he uses Lucindale Crater Senior and the daughter to just get the car, get what he wants, get the money, the 1750. He was always looking out for himself, saving himself. He's always a man that's just all about himself. So he's not much different from men with two arms, and that's the biggest mistake that Lucindale Senior makes within this work. She was looking at Mr. Shiftlet as this paralyzed, this man that needs help, this man that is down on his luck. That he should be grateful that she's offering the farm and her daughter. But to him, he sees himself as a full man, not a half a man, because he doesn't have two arms. So there's a lot of layers within this work, but ultimately that's what it's about. It's just two individuals. They have talks about the spirit, about the body, what it means to be human, morals, ethics. Um, you know, what you see, what's in front of you. What does it mean? What do the things in front of you mean? And ultimately, um, the way that you live your life. Is it all about the body? Is it all about body and spirit or soul? Is it, are you going to use people for your advantages? Because both of them are just trying to save something. Mr. Shiftlet, he's trying to save his own life, do what he wants, be a free spirit. He's a bird, right? The one word he teaches Lucindale Jr. is bird. So Mr. Shiftlet is a bird. He's always flying somewhere. He never stays in one place. That's why when they try to tie him down to a marriage, to a farm, he just escapes. And in some ways, you have to say that Lucindale Sr. kind of pushed this on him, because he really didn't want to marry the daughter. The mother just pushed that on him, and he abandoned the daughter. Again, there's a lot to this work, but that's pretty much what happens within it. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.